have to think that way, but it does not mean that. So it means, as a man, you can function normally. That is a state of perfection. Therefore, you can find many defects from your husband or from your wife. This case, you have to think, she is your daughter or he is your son. Then when you find some defects from your son, can you get angry? No. You will laugh and you will try to correct, educate. So we have to have that heart. So by living together, men reach more maturity. They become more and more fine character. Not from the time beginning. So as they live together, so they have to cooperate each other. So they have to educate each other, and they have to supplement each other. So short points, wife's short points must be covered by husband, and husband's short points must be covered by wife. So they compensate each other, and as two together, they make perfect personality or character. Therefore, man has a responsibility to make his wife ideal wife. This is husband's responsibility. And wife's responsibility is to make her husband ideal husband. This is her responsibility, not his responsibility. Of course, he has certain responsibility, but the more responsibility lies on the other side. So cooperation is needed. This is completely different from foreign world couple. So they have to work together, and by working together, they take the image of God. They take the image of God. So one alone cannot stand before God. When husband and wife, they are united, then together, united, they can stand before God, not alone. But therefore we say that this is just, in our general lecture, we say, this is God and husband and wife. If they are united, then we say this is the perfect image of God. But actually it is not. Until this lecture, I said that when husband and wife become one, they are perfect image of God. But actually it is not. It is not. No? Then what it is? This is perfect image of God. Because in God we say, Holy Father, Holy Son, Holy Spirit. We say that. Huh? So here, in God, there are three heads. What Holy Father, Holy... So parents and Holy Father, Holy Son, and Holy Spirit. Holy Ghost. Then here, therefore, husband and wife together becomes father's position. Then what is the Holy Son and Holy Spirit? They are son and daughter. Therefore, you have to have son and daughter. When you have this, then this is the substantial image of God. So husband and wife alone is not enough. So you have to have son and daughter. When you have son and daughter, and when they become one, this is the image of God. Klaus, well, we have to go long way. See? So you know how important it is to have son and daughter, not only son, not only daughter. You have to have both, son and daughter. So our desire, man's purpose is to resemble God, resemble God. By resembling God, we can inherit the full heart of God. So by having son and daughter, then you can really feel God's heart. So father is father and mother. God is father and mother. You say Holy Ghost, Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit. Holy Son, Holy Spirit. So this is the same. This is husband and wife, and son and daughter. So this is one. Husband, wife, one. Son, one. Daughter, one. So this is take the position of God. Both HS are too good. Okay, then what is the mission of son and daughter, children? What they have to do? If children do not love their children, and if they don't want to inherit, listen to their words, if they don't receive love from their parents, then can they have any way to go to perfection? No way. So children must love their parents, must receive the words of parents, must receive love from parents, and must become one with them. And through them they have to inherit God's heart. Without going this, children can never have perfection. Therefore, in ideal world, children must become son of piety, daughter of piety. And we say parents can be parents when they give life to their children. If you give birth to a dead son or dead daughter, then you cannot be parents. No more, you cannot have children. So, by giving birth, that means by giving life to their children, they can become parents. Then what is life? Physical life alone is not life. So man has physical life and physical body and spirit body, therefore life has two, physical life and spiritual life. Therefore parents must be able to give physical life as well as spiritual life. Both. Now what is fallen parents are doing? What, they give only physical life but not spiritual life. Therefore they cannot, in true sense, they are not parents. The physical side parents, not spiritual side parents. Therefore we have to be able to give both life to our children. Spiritual life is more important than physical life. Okay, so from this we can understand how important it is, the relationship between husband and wife. And that is the most important one. If you cannot become one, then you cannot function as parents. If husband and wife are divided, children cannot go. Where can they go? No place for them to go. Therefore, husband and wife, they sometimes they cannot like each other. Sometimes, not all the time. Maybe. But because of their children, they have to be reunited. So that is their responsibility, anyway, to be good parents for their children. So we say, those parents who have many children, they can never commit crime. They cannot do anything wrong, bad thing to other people. When they see younger people, then they are just like their own children. And if you know this, if you do something wrong, then you will get it back. So if you do something bad, then your children may get it back in return. So if you know this, you cannot do evil things against anybody, outside people. God is fair God. God is fair God. So if you do something wrong, then you must get it. If you do good thing, you get good reward. If you do evil thing, you will get evil reward. This is nature. Then now we say that ideal world is the world of equality. So because everyone is child of God. So everyone, ideal world. Man is son of God, woman is daughter of God. But still, in ideal world there is a hierarchy. Yeah? So we call it what number? 2? Ideal family is 2. This 3. We call it hierarchy of heart. So this means that parents, children, they are all, as individual person, they are equal. Father is all son of God. Son is all son of God. But parents and the children are different. As an individual man, they are equal, but parents and children, you think are they the same? No. Children must respect parents. And from parents, they have to learn God's words, God's heart. And parents must take care of their children. So this is different. So as from the point of value, they are equal value. They have equal value, but they are in different level. Then how about older people and younger people? How about this? Older people, younger people. We know the difference between parents and children. Then how about older people, younger people? Yeah, value is the same. But because in ideal world, God is center. And this is just like one family world. Therefore, to older people, younger people are just like their own children. And older people are like their own parents. And without older generation, there cannot be younger generation. And older generation inherit their accomplishments to younger generation. So they work very hard and make good system, all the things. And they inherit those good system, good circumstances to their younger children, younger generation. So they have to have gratitude for older generation, for their hard work, for their accomplishments. And also for older generation, without younger generation, there will be no future. So older generation must have a good inheritance to younger generation. And they have a responsibility to educate younger generation well, so that they can inherit and they can prosper. So both must respect. So younger generation must respect older generation must love younger generation. Not like equal friend, no. But now in many cases you don't respect too much older people. It's not right. So younger people must feel grateful to older people. This is very important. So we have to treat older people like your own parents. This is. And older people must treat younger people like their own children. So we say this is the order. So was senior and the junior, the order. Now how about the fallen world? Because of this first generation family fell. And God's heart could not be inherited to fallen people. So this world became a world where there's no God, no God's heart, no love of God, no truth of God. Therefore man lost God's truth, God's love, God's heart. And because of the fall of first family, second generation family, third generation family, they all became Satan's family. So this world is filled with Satan's family, no God's family. So there is no God's tradition. So this world is the world of sin, distrust, and struggle. So in this fallen world, we cannot find anything good. The next one is restore the ideal world. Then how can we restore this ideal world? This fallen world but this was broken, and they established this. So this is fourth generation family. Therefore, all the other families became the same. So there's no God's was love, heart. So this became world of sin. This trust and struggle. Restored now, 5. One. Restoration of God's 3 blessings. So God's purpose of salvation is to restore His purpose of creation. And to restore His purpose of creation, He must restore His 3 blessings. But to restore these God's 3 blessings, fallen man cannot do this. So we must have Messiah. Who knows God's heart, who knows God's will, God's words, and God's love. We need Messiah. And without Him we cannot restore anything. So then to restore this ideal world, we have to restore this family. Without restoring family, we cannot establish God's ideal world. So first thing is family, restore. Ideal family. This is the most important thing, the ideal family. Of course, by restoring man, that's first. So Messiah comes as a man, and He restores His bride first. So bride. So by Messiah and His bride, they can establish first ideal family. So this is first restored ideal family of God. So here's parents, is God. His wife, Messiah, and His bride. Children is of bride. So this is first restored family. If this was just, if there were no other people, this alone is good enough. But as they were, first generation family was like this. When Adam and Eve, and there were no other people, so it can be like this, but in fallen world it is different from the first time. In Adam and Eve's case, there were only two men, one Adam and one Eve, but now how many people are living on earth? 4 billion people. Then what can God do to those people? Huh? God can destroy them. If just as God did at the time of Noah, if God can destroy all the people and just leave only Messiah and his bride and his family, then maybe it may be easy, but God cannot destroy, perish all the people living on earth. Therefore, he must take special measure. So here now, in this case, this person, children. Actually, we know 4 billion people cannot be born from bride. We know that. So, God must take special measure. So, now, here's God. Here's Messiah and bride. So, these children. So, we have to make, the fallen people must make condition to stand in this position. Yeah? So without standing in this position, there's no way for them to be restored. See? Go to this position. See? Then how can fallen people can stand in this position? This is the problem now. Then how was that at the time of first generation family, original ideal family? The children, how they did to stand in this position? Yeah. They received God's words and love and heart from their parents, Adam and Eve. See? So same thing. We fallen people must receive God's words, God's truth, God's love and God's heart from Messiah and bride, this one, as our father and mother. See? Because we are not directly connected to them, therefore we have to make condition that we have to make them our father and mother. So this is, so we say resurrection of the heart is dead. Our heart is dead. So we have to revive our heart. And we have to, by reviving our heart, we have to connect to Messiah and bride as our own father and mother. So this feeling must come back. So we have to feel so close to father and mother, as if they are our own parents. Then we can inherit. So of course we have to learn words, God's words. And we have to receive love and heart. But they are only one, two. But we are, how many we are? Too many. You know how difficult it is to raise children. We know some blessed couple, they have only one or two, but it's very difficult, for them to raise. So how would it be difficult to raise 4 billion people? Is it impossible for them to do that? Therefore, we, who need more? We need. That we, people from people's side, of course they talk, they give up, they do their best. They to give us words or love or heart, they do their best. But to accept it, to receive it, yet our responsibility. We have to fulfill that part, our portion of responsibility. So from our side, we have to go. Oh, of course, they always are open. But if we don't go to them, there's no way to connect it. And we have to come into this position. And to stand in this position, then so we have many conditions, like to have spiritual children. That is, by having spiritual children, we can experience some of their heart. Because we cannot live together with them. But by having our own spiritual children, and you raise them, work very hard to raise them, to give God's words, or by doing this, we can feel some of the heart of our father and mother. By putting yourself in the similar position to their position, then you can feel some of their heart. By this, we can connect them to them, heart by a heart. And of course, we have to learn truth. But truth is very important, but more important is heart. So through them, we have to learn God's heart. So to learn God's heart is by truth, by hearing, and by experiencing our life. So that is by witnessing and by bringing spiritual children, by raising them, then we can feel God's heart. By that we can connect. Then when we have this 3 spiritual children or more, and we feel certain amount of father and mother's heart, then we get blessing. Then what blessing means that we already came to this position. So this is first generation family. Then what is second generation family now? This is 2 parents. This case who? We. I like to write only children, but we cannot write that. We are restore the children. Yeah, that is different. That is, they have no problem. But this, yeah, but yeah, of course that is, that's original. Yeah, but it's not our case. And we go into the second generation family. The blessed families. Then we will have, this is our own children here, come here.
Children that are not spiritual children, but physical.
Yeah, physical children. This means our own children. Spiritual children need for this one, to inherit this heart, to become this, to come into this position, we need spiritual children. Of course, we have to also fulfill responsibility to make them blessed, and but for this case, it's our own children. Yeah. To come to this position, we receive blessing. So blessing is needed here. blessing. By blessing. Then what is blessing? Blessing is inheriting everything from our parents. Blessing means that. Blessing means that what they attained, or our two parents attained through their hard work, they are giving it to them, to us. That's blessing. But we received it, but we couldn't make it ours yet. So after we receive blessing, then we have to make what we received, make ours. We have to make it them ours. You know? Not just given, but not, they didn't become ours. Because we are not original children. You know? So after I receive blessing, then through our life, our work, we have to make the blessings our own, ours. It takes time. It takes much effort, much work. Then, after we fulfill this, then we can go into this position. So that is restored third generation family. So when we can go into this position, and we can fulfill parent role well enough, then tradition of God can be established on this earth. So we have the family, we have the responsibility to establish restored third generation family. That is our responsibility. Already father and mother showed us the pattern. Here comes a blessing of many things, anyway. But in my book, I wrote only up to restored first generation family. I did not write second generation family or third generation family. But we have to go into that. But if we say this, then just it is same as we are declaring Father is Messiah. You know. But without, so sometimes, I mean, of course we can say through our mouth it's okay, but in writing it's not yet ready, so we don't go in that part of so husband-wife role is really important, this one. Therefore, we always say, we know second generation, this one is really important. Second one is really important. If we don't fulfill the husband's role and wife's role, this cannot stand. This second generation family cannot stand. Now, only God, only parents, and if there's no husband and wife, no more family. You know? So to make this stand, the role of husband, role of wife must be fulfilled. Therefore, second generation is most important. You know, all is first, second. Number two is most difficult one. Satan always attack. Number two. So Jesus was saying, yes, he was second Son of God. So we have to do our best. Okay, so what time is it now? 10:30. Okay, just we have some break or no, a little bit later. And by this we finish chapter 1. So I think it's good to have break. Yeah? Okay. Yeah. Because we finished the chapter 1, so I like to talk something about blessing. because you know you want to know about blessing. From today's lecture, you know the blessing where it comes. And blessing is the condition by which we can eradicate our original sin. So once you receive blessing, then you become different. Of course, you are same person. We have same fallen natures, but by condition, you are moved from one dominion to the other. Therefore, before you receive blessing and after you receive blessing is completely different. Of course, I think you don't feel it, but in the spirit world, your position becomes completely different. So if you die before you receive the blessing, and if you die after you receive blessing, the place you go becomes different, and the treatment which you receive becomes different. Usually, when people die, for the people who did bad things, evil spirits come to take you. Or three spirits come. Sometimes those who did bad things, even they die, their physical body, you can find many bruises. And then they are hit spiritually. So you can find this. Something bleeding, or many. It's not so clean. So you can see by this, when the person dies, from the person's, what do you call it? The way of the dying, sometimes suffered very much. Suffer very much. That is usually the persons, the people who did evil things. They suffer very much. They cannot die just peacefully. And I know some person, who did very bad things, hit by a spirit. They hit, even the spirits come and hit him. So bleeding all the place, and many bruises, all those things. And some people who die very peacefully, just like living. So that's entirely different. And anyway, if you die before your blessing, then anyway, Satan's side spirits come. So if you did evil things, evil spirits come and take you away. And if you did not do too bad things, then your ancestor spirits come. Anyway, three spirits always come. And they come and they lead you to spirit world. But if you are blessed, then it becomes different. Maybe good angels can come, or if we have good ancestors, maybe they can come, and good spirits come and take you. And the period of time is also different. If we go there, then there is a screening period. After you die, screening period, then you have to, we call it the final reckoning. If you have company, every year you do that. Yearly reckoning, so you know how much you got income and expenses, and you want to find out how much profit you made. That is called reckoning. You call it reckoning?
Balance.
Yeah, balance reckoning. Yeah, that's you count. So all your expenses, all your income, and by that you know how much you made. Same thing. So when we die, then when we go to spirit world, reckoning. There's an automatic computer there. So they know exactly how much you did good thing for God, how much you did bad thing. Just reckon. Computer count. And by that, your destination decided, which way you should go, which way, you know. So that takes certain time, certain days, several days, and then you go. So therefore, if you are not, you don't have this experience, you don't know the true value of a blessing. So valuable. Therefore, I said the other day, I said that the one many famous spirits of Korean patriots, they came to Mrs. Chi and they asked her to give several drops of holy wine on their tombs. By that they can change. Their person comes entirely different. But of course they cannot do that without the permission of Father. And of course this is not the time to give this blessing to spirits, no. This is a time to give blessing only the people living on earth, not spirits in spirit world. But maybe when Father goes to spirit world, maybe then they can have this merit, special blessing, but not this time. So this is a time for the people living on earth. Therefore, we have to, when we have physical bodies, we have to do good things. We have to make ourselves perfect. So this is so important. So Father always says, of course we go through many difficult things, situations, but we have to maintain our physical body, physical life. Once we live, before we see the day of God's victory. If you go, then you cannot go to good place. But without doing anything, it does not mean anything. And so, by doing God's work, but we have to maintain our health, and we have to live until we restore one nation. So, if once we restore one nation, then God can have His sovereignty. So, now this world is working through national sovereignty. So for God, He is Almighty God, but without this foundation, He cannot exercise His power. So once we restore this national sovereignty, then from that time, it goes very fast. Providence will go very fast. Now we are now heading for that, you know. Therefore, we have to pray for the victory of that national sovereignty. So we don't know which country will come first. Anyway, our victory is already decided. This is already decided. Whether you go, you leave our family, or even all of you leave family, it does not matter. Already, this victory is decided. It is destined to win. Now the communists, they have a very false ideology. Communism, dialectic materialism. But with that false ideology, they could now overcome. They could dominate almost half of the world. But for our case, we have truth, real truth, and God is on our side. Therefore, this is a matter of time. If you think of Christianity, after Jesus died, all the disciples were crucified or dead, and many were killed by animals, lions, almost nothing left. But now, after 2,000 years, now we have 1 billion people for Christianity. But now we have our true parents on earth, and we have more truth than before, and He did many things already. He made all the conditions. Therefore, we have strong foundation on this earth. Foundation of victory, already set. So how long it will take, that is the matter, that's the problem. How can we shorten this period? This is up to us. So if we don't, maybe it takes a little bit longer, but anyway, the victory will come. There's no doubt about that. So if you doubt this, then that is your misunderstanding. No doubt. So we have to understand this fully. If you don't understand this, then maybe you can be shaky. But if you understand this point, then we have no worry. Just because now in Germany we know many are persecuting us, but I don't think it caused any trouble, no. Because we went through more persecution, more difficult time. And still now Korea, in Korea, when we started, father started his mission in 1950s, it was really difficult. Father could not stay at one place. He always had to move around. So all the police came and they wanted to catch him. So he could not stay one place. And not only that, spiritually, always we could feel something spiritually, spiritual attack. Always we felt fear. So if somebody comes, always fear coming. This is spiritual. But now these spiritual feelings all gone. No, and Korea is completely changed. If you compare present Korea from the 1950s Korea, we can't imagine it. Of course, government is not fully on our side, but because there are many Christians, because of that they take this attitude. But even the people of Korea, they understand us very much and they support us very much. So after several years, maybe Korean government cannot, maybe they have to decide which side they should take side, our side or Christian side. Maybe now we are coming into that stage now. So when we look at this stage, this situation of Korea, then it will be the same with other nations, but it's much easier. In Korea, they thought we are trying to take over government of power. They did all kinds of things, so they wanted to persecute us as political group. But we could go over all the things. And because once we paved that way, therefore, maybe even you can have some troubles in your country, but they cannot be too long. And they cannot be too serious like we did. Because the first one is the most difficult one. Once we passed, then already that way is paved. So Satan cannot attack that too heavily. Well, we won victory in that course. So now, blessing, concerning blessing now. We know we do not have many members now. Do we have many members? Not many members. So if we have more members, and if you can choose your spouse among more members, maybe it may be much easier for father to match. Because you can find many different people, and you can find a very good person to you. But when we do not have many members, and if you want to choose to do right matching, it's very difficult. But we know we cannot live with man and woman just until they get 40 years old, 50 years old. We cannot leave them like that. Anyway, we have to give them spouse before they get too old. So there is time limit and limited membership. So with this condition, we have to make matching. And then to make matching, the person who matches must be really stand in fair position. He should not stand in woman's side or man's side. He should stand in middle position. He should be fair to everyone. And to be fair, then I think father and mother, they are the most fit people for that matching. If your father matches you, then what will happen? Yeah, only maybe father of a daughter, he matches, then he will think of only his daughter. Yeah? Because to him, his daughter looks very fine, but other men may look not so fine, So he was just by thinking only her, and he will choose. But maybe the person will not like to be matched to her. because he is taking side of this daughter. And if father of a son matches, then what will happen? Also he will take side of son. Then we cannot expect fair matching from them. And for our father, everyone is the same, or son or daughter, man, woman, they have the same relationship. There's not a special favor for any special one. No. All look same. And for our providence, God's providence, without having good family, we know they cannot be good ideal world. To bring ideal world, we must have good family, good couples. Father knows this. He is concerned about God's will, how to fulfill God's will, how to establish God's ideal world. This is the first concern of Father. So he always think of this. He does not think of individual person, but he thinks this, he knows this. By having good couples, he can have good descendants, he can have good ideal family, ideal world. God can be happy when he sees good couples. Therefore, he knows this, therefore, he wants to match good couples. Good woman and man, just the right person. No prejudice. From the viewpoint of God, he does this. So, therefore, when Father does matching, he prays very hard. He prays very hard. And he always says that. When he comes out, then he can see the members, not only just maybe outside, but to him. Because I think when he does matching, I think God, the Spirit of God comes with him. And just he said that. If he hears Gerard, then he let him stand up. Then, beside him, already he sees some sister, the face. There. Therefore, he looks for, he goes around and looks for sisters who has similar face of that. Then he picks up. Then that's matching. And for sister, sometimes he let the sister stand up. Then beside her, already he sees some brother face. So he looks for that brother. By this he can match. If you want to match, it is very difficult. But by that he can match very quickly. Sometimes he so quick, members do not know which one his spouse or no. But father exactly know who is who. And for 36 couples, at that time we did not have many members. So father could put more time in matching. So he talked with each one, each individual, because it was first time. So he could do, he could spend much time, but not many people there. So he met each month. But anyway, sometimes those insisted, I want to have this man or that woman. But father explains them what. And even father said that in case you choose this man, then this will happen. He explained it, and even it happens, is it okay for you to have this man? And if she says yes, and he asks this man also, and if they say yes, then he made them. He matched them. But that is on the condition that the risk they have to take. Already father warned it, not to just sometimes. So he always says that to obey to father is the best way. He emphasizes very much. But even he did so, but sometimes he listened to members' opinion, and he allowed some of them. And now I know one is there, one is in spirit world, one is on earth. So now they cannot complain about that. Because only father told them, so it will happen. And it really happened like that. This Mrs. Chi, you know Mrs. Chi, she's in America. Father originally wanted to match her with somebody else. But she insisted to. Then she became a widow. And Mr. Yu's case is the same. Mr. Yu's case, the late president, Mr. Yu. Anyway, if you follow what the father just suggested and the father matches, there's no trouble, no trouble. But if you insist from your own view or from your opinion, the result is not too good. This is just from experiences. I can take this. You know? Of course, sometimes matching does not go smoothly. It cannot go. If everything goes smoothly, it's lie. It is not principle. Because we know everything is indemnity. Indemnity, you know, indemnity and restoration. So we don't know what kind of ancestors we had in the past. And also our missions are all different. We can divide our members into 3 groups. One is, you know, in Bible it says that faith, hope, and love. In our life of faith, this is 3 things, the most important points. So faith, hope, and love. And our members, some belong to faith group, some belong to hope group, some belong to love group. Those who belong to love group, maybe they have to suffer for their love. But not for entire life, no. Certain period of time. And hope group also must suffer because of its hope. And faith group also suffer because of their faith. 3 categories. And your test always comes from the one which you think it is most important for you. If you think love is most important for you, then you will have test of love. This is, and if you think something is most important for you, then you will have that test. Satan knows exactly which one is most painful one for you. Or Satan comes through that. And you know, in ideal world, maybe after we restore our nation, then, and if whole world restored, then maybe if we all indemnity is made, then anyone can marry with anyone. It will be okay. So if wife and man and woman, they like each other, maybe they can get married. But this is not yet that time. You know? We are the fruits of our ancestors, and ancestors want to solve their problems through us. So we have to pay indemnity conditions for our ancestors. We are in that position. Therefore, if you match with somebody without knowing, then you will get in trouble. Because if in the past you don't know, maybe your brothers and sisters and your sisters and sisters, they might have been enemies. If they get matched, they cannot have a peace. No. There can be many things in the past. You know, so if you match with the wrong person, then you cannot live here long. Sometimes you die just by accident or something, you know, which you didn't expect. You die. You cannot keep your life long enough on this earth. Therefore, matching is so important. So we say, when you are born, Your destiny decides, we say that. So in Orient, we say the birth year and birth month, birth day, and birth hour. The four things are most important things to determine man's destiny. We call them 4 poles. So man is standing on 4 poles. To build a house, you need at least 4 poles. The 4 poles are year of birth, your month of birth, and the day of birth and hour of birth. By this, Oriental philosophy, they can calculate and they can exactly tell what will happen in your future. And especially, they can tell your past, the 100%. But for your future, always 50%. If you fulfill your responsibility, then it can go this way. If you don't fulfill your portion of responsibility, it can go the other way. So only for future, there are 2 ways. Therefore, they can tell 50% of future things, but 100% past things by this Oriental philosophy. And of course, to have good, exact, to tell your exact future, then they have to count your father's purpose and mother's purpose, because there can be many people who are born the same day, same hour, but their parents are different. So they inherit something from their parents. Therefore, in that case, they have to count their parents' purpose. Then there cannot be anyone similar one, all different. That is one. So when you cannot change your birth, how can you change it? You cannot change it. However you want to change, you cannot change that your purpose. Already, that is decided. But there's another chance to change your destiny. That is marriage. So by marriage, you can change your destiny. So if you have bad fortune, if you would get good wife or good husband who has good fortune, your bad fortune will be changed because of your spouse destiny. So in our lifetime only, your birth we cannot change, but what we can change is marriage. By marriage, we can change our course, our destiny. Because of this is so important. So we say in Korea, when a woman goes to get married, we say that she changes her 8 letters, 8 characters. That 8 characters means 4 points. Because of marriage, that destiny can be changed. So we say that. So 4 characters mean 8 characters means each pole has 2 characters. So 4 poles means 8 characters. So by marriage, we change 8 characters. We say that. So your destiny changes. So therefore, if you have wrong spouse, you'll get in trouble. But in many cases, you don't know. So father knows this. Therefore, to follow father's suggestion is so important. Because he knows this. Of course, he does not ask you what time you were born or what day. So he does not. But by spiritual, he knows this. So he matches those who do not cause troubles or who can supplement each other's fortune in better direction. When I was in Korea, I know some member, man. He had a destiny of this by accident. He had that destiny. So he could be killed by accident. And the father matched a sister who had opposite, physiognomy, physiognomy. And by matching them, his bad fortune could go away. He could live. So by this you can understand how important and matching is, and because father knows this, therefore it is very safe to follow father's suggestion. So we already, because we have many blessed couples, therefore we know already those members, what happened to them. And when we have, some I know some couples have trouble. It's very difficult to unite each other. To accept your spouse, it becomes very difficult. Then what you should do, by way of your thinking, you can change it. So, blessing is this. Blessing is not just the matching of one man and one woman. Blessing, if you accept blessing, there you receive God. God is coming here. So you should not consider that the spouse value only is by spouse. You have to always think that spouse plus God. When you are matched, then to accept your spouse means to accept God at the same time. So her value or his value is he himself plus God. This is your spouse value. Then where can you find the value of God? Spouse plus God. You cannot find this value anywhere else. Even you go outside, can you find this? However, you find good girl or good man, but much less than this. Much less than this. So spouse plus God. You cannot find this spouse anywhere else. So if you really understand this, then you can accept your spouse. So the other day, father said, on Children's Day, he said that. You live with your eyes closed. Then white man or black man, yellow man, doesn't matter. You cannot see. If you live with your eyes closed, how can you see? So if you think, if you are blind, then what will happen? If you can pull a blind, so you cannot open your eyes, then you will not mind whether she or he is yellow, black, or white. And these eyes, this is not the original eyes. We have a fallen eyes. So what you see is through your fallen eyes. So you cannot see true value of the other side. And also you cannot see the true value of blessing. And we know, once you are blessed, you cannot change your husband or your wife. And I think this is the only way to give us true happiness. If we can divorce, if we can marry again, if God allows us this, then what do you think will happen? You think we can get real true happiness? You can never have it. Now, when outside world, they love. They say they fell in love, and man and woman, they get married. But after several months, they get divorced. Maybe after several years, they get divorced. Why did this thing happen? When new man and woman, because they don't know each other too much, because they have separate world. They lived in separate world, and they came together. Therefore, it is natural to have problems. When strange man and woman come together, how can everything go well? If you expect everything go well from the beginning, that is very foolish thinking. It is natural that it does not go well. So there can be many problems, many difficulties. So by overcoming these difficulties, problems, or by understanding them, then you can develop your heart or your character in better direction. Now, this is almost every case. This comes, this is to come to every couple. Then, if divorce is allowed, then what will happen? man's nature is to choose easy way. You don't go to difficult way. This is man's nature. Man always wants to go easy direction. Then if they face difficulties, then if divorce is allowed, they will not choose to go difficult course. They will choose to go easy course. Then they think, oh, to overcome this problem, I cannot bear it. Then I want to divorce. So instead of trying to overcome all difficulties, they will choose divorce. Divorce side. You know? Then once you divorce, then you try again. In this case, you always compare with former spouse. He or she was this, and this is now this. Or you can all compare. Then you cannot have true satisfaction. Then maybe something happened and divorce again. So you always continue this. You cannot settle down. But if divorce is not allowed, then and your husband and wife is for eternity. This case, what do we have to do? We have to confront your problems. Well, I have to overcome this. Yeah? Because you cannot change your husband or wife, then only way left is to overcome your problems. So if you try to overcome, and you work very hard, pray hard, then you can overcome. No problem. And if you overcome, then you are already victor. And you can make yourself more open, more wide. Your personality is developed greatly. So you can become a different person. Without going through this, if you have some short points in your character, you cannot change it. You cannot correct them. But by working hard to overcome all these problems, you develop your characters very fine way, and maybe you can really become a man of God's heart. In this way, you can inherit God's heart much better. And of course, and you don't know, you know, valuable things. You want to give valuable things to everybody. If it's valuable, then you want to keep it for yourself. If you love your wife or your husband, you don't want to have her or him to give to other people. You don't want to do that. But if divorce is allowed, or divorce allowed means that they can do anything. If divorce is allowed, that means they can do anything. Even they are married, but maybe he or she can have outside love, anything they can do that. It means that. Then if you really love someone, can you bear it? You can't bear it. And if man or woman, they experience other man or woman, they compare. Then you cannot really love your spouse. No? Therefore, only one man to one woman. This is the only way to give true love and true happiness. And even you go away someplace, but if just you are eternally husband and wife, then you can trust your husband, you can trust your wife. But if not, you have to always stay with your husband or your wife. You cannot feel safe, Anything can happen anytime. How can you trust? If you cannot trust, how can you feel happy? So without this condition, you cannot trust the husband, you cannot trust your wife. Then without trust, there cannot have true love. There cannot be true love. But in our church, in God's way of life, we can trust. Maybe even if a husband go away for 1 year, wife does not have to worry about that. Maybe just maybe she misses him, but she doesn't have to worry about that point. Or the same is for husband. Now in America, there's no fisherman. There's no one who wants to be fisherman, because if man goes away, then they cannot trust his wife. If go away for 1 week, 2 weeks, already she goes to some other man. This is the true life of fallen people today. So to eliminate all these evil things, then there's no other way. Just this one, once husband and wife are married, they are eternal. You cannot change it. This is the only way to guarantee true happiness and true love. I think God is very smart God. And I know he thought of everything, every case already. He's tested. And he knows this is the only way. No other way. Don't you think so? Yeah. Therefore, you should feel really happy. And especially women's case. I think women should be more happy. Because, you cannot find any husband like this in outside world. Father always says, in outside world, how difficult it is to keep one husband. Very difficult. Especially when they have business, when they get some money, they just do as they want. Women's case, usually they have to stay at home with children, but men's case, he goes around, just like we call it, like a scepter, You know what scepter is? Like ghost, we call it like ghost. Like we call it in Korea, we call it like a tokebi. Tokebi means what you call it? Some ghost, but evil ghost. What do you call it? Spirit. Yeah, specter. Yeah. Specter goes around to anything. So, even in 36 couples, we had many difficulties in the beginning. So, as I say, some had trouble because of faith. Some had trouble because of hope. Some had because of love. But I think there are some couples who have trouble. But you pray, you can find out. If it is really bad couple, bad spouse, then you can cry, but you can maybe weep, But if it is right, God will not let you cry. I don't know how. Is there anyone who could cry, it really weeping and so. That case maybe, your case, it's not because of you, maybe because of the other side. That case we can cry. But if it is because of you, and if it is right one, God will not let you cry. Even you want to cry, but you cannot cry. By this we can understand. God knows everything. He knows everything. And how you suffer, He knows everything. And He's watching you, how you do, how you are tackling with your problem. He's watching you. So endurance, this is really important, endurance. You have to endure difficulties. That's only a certain period of time, maybe several years, all this. And if you overcome that period, then it goes very fine. But if you cannot overcome this, then you will have more trouble. Once you cannot overcome, then it does not go away. That condition always remains, always stick with you, always come together with you. You cannot get away from that until you overcome that. Once you overcome, then it goes away. But if on the way, if you just stop, then it will come to again. You will have it again. Same problem again all the time, until you overcome. And if you just forsake it, then you will become a loser of life. Become a loser of life. And Father always say that the blessing, God knows us, and we are already fallen people. We lived in foreign world. We are already contaminated too much. So He does not expect too much to us. You know, you have to know this. He does not, honestly, you know, God does not expect too much to us, from us. But He has more expectation to our descendants, our children. Therefore, when Father matches, always He thinks of the children from children who will come from that couple. He always think of that. If God is a loving God, or if God is concerned about future world, then He must think this way. So with this man and this woman, then what kind of children can expect? He always think that, and from this viewpoint, He matches. I know many cases, Father said, "Oh, from you, and you will have good son, good daughter." He said that, and really they had this. And when we go to spirit world, the beauty of man and woman is depends on the spiritual achievements, accomplishments. You know, if you can find someone very beautiful woman outside, but she will not necessarily be a beautiful woman in spirit world. No. If she does not live good life, when she goes spirit world, her spirit will be very ugly. It can be very ugly. But maybe some sisters, you know, who have maybe sometimes some wound or something happened to, by accident you can have something, you know, scars or something. But spirit is not harmed. Spirit person is right, okay. And if you do good life, have a good life, and you do good work for God, then you have really beautiful spirit man in spirit world, spirit person. Beautiful one. So if you only think of this lifespan, it's not right. You have to think of the future, and the spirit world is much longer than you cannot compare. This is just like a short period, like second. But we have to think of eternal life in spirit world. So beauty is decided. Whether how much you receive your love from God, that decides the beauty of person. You know? If you receive more love from God, you become more beautiful. If you receive less love from God, you become not beautiful. You know? So the beauty of man is decided by how much love he or she can receive from God. By that, it is decided. So in this world, in fallen world, they just evaluate man's value by just looking face, but it's not right. Sometimes, you know, it's lame, or one leg is lost, one leg or one arm, but spirit man, no, the same, normal. You know? And I said that man's essence is spirit mind. Spirit mind. So you are living with spirit mind of that person, not with the physical body. This is only temporary on this earth. So you have to see your spouse with his or her spirit mind. But it's very difficult to see it like that. Therefore, Father knows this, because Father knows spirit world. Therefore, he says, even he matches sometimes, he knows for some brother it's very difficult to accept some sister. He knows that. Sometimes it's very difficult for sister to accept some brother. But because he knows there will be no problem when he go to spirit world. If they overcome the problems in this world, then they can have good life, happy life in spirit world. He knows this. Therefore, he does not feel anything in his heart. Even he can push because he knows that. If you don't know, then how can you push those who don't like to make a couple? But he does not feel anything. What do you call it? What do you call it? Not now. Any bad feeling or anything. Yeah, he does not. Yeah, not hesitation. He does not feel any. When you feel something, when you did wrong, then you feel. Yeah, he does not feel any regrets. Yeah, not resentment. That he does not feel any. What do you call it? When you do something wrong, then you attack yourself. What do you call it?
Accusation.
Not accusation.
Afterthought.
あれ、呵責はなんていうか。Remorse? Anyway. Huh?
Remorse, regret.
I don't know.
Conscience strict.
Huh?
Conscience strict.
Conscience strict. And if you overcome those problems, then for your children will not suffer like that anymore. So anyway, that is, you have to think, that is your destiny you have to overcome. And you don't try to evade from that. You have to face it. Face it, and you overcome it.なんて書いてある？なんと。持ってきなさい。Pangs. It's good, huh? Pangs doesn't feel any pangs. Yeah, pains in conscience. Conscience. Yeah. If he feels pangs in conscience, how can he continue matching? So he's very, he can face God, with pride, even with what he does. Because he knows that is the way God desires. Therefore, he is just, what do you call it? He is very, 堂々となんていうかなあれ。he's just a bit difficult. English is not confidence, but he. Okay, hot.
Light.
No, not light. What? 안 들어가있다며. Eh? Imposingly? Imposingly? Dignified? No, clergy, no, it's, no. Huh? Grandeur? Okay, yeah, grandeur, okay, it's okay. So, I think there are some who have trouble with matching, blessing. Many cases, some members, when they go to matching, they see somebody in their dream. In the dream, the father matched the person, and the father exactly matched the person. Oh, Klaus, you did that? Yeah. Many members, I heard many members had that experience. Yeah. So exactly what he or she saw in their dream, father matched it. So by this we can understand father is not matching just as he wants, not just randomly. No. And sometimes they know who will be matched to her, but sometimes, or in some cases, there was many, except her, except he. I can accept anyone, but he or she. Then he's matched with that person. There was spirit already knows that. So that is destiny, that is destiny. So we have to accept it. This case, just without any condition, you accept it, then you can go over very easily. But if you just hang on small things, you can never overcome it. And in spiritual world, Father always says that those who are matched by Father, they can be very proud. They can be very proud of it. It's for eternity. The pride comes along with you for eternity. But those who just forsook the matching by Father, they will regret it for eternity. That is really trouble. Not only this earth. If it is a matter of this earth, we don't care too much. But it is not. Because when they go to spiritual, they know the consequences. If they accepted that, what would have happened? They can know this. Therefore, they can regret. It never leaves them, their heart. They can never be liberated from that. That mind always press them. So that is hell. That is hell. I know many members, they went out and just broke a matching and went out and had different marriages or things. If they are not forgiven on this earth, maybe if they are forgiven on this earth, maybe it will be okay. But if they are not forgiven on this earth, they will suffer because of that for eternity. Not only them, but their children suffer. Our Father said that if, parents do not keep their faith, they go out and they do some evil things against our church, or those who broke a blessing and go out and they have their own life. And if their children born and if they know this, then they will not, in Orient, we have very strong concept about keeping the parents' tombs and ancestor tombs. We consider them very important. But they will not leave their tombs. Just they dig them out and throw, or demolish it or just destroy all tombs. So the descendants will not allow them, not forgive them. That is become the shame of their descendants. Therefore, for the sake of our descendants, our children, we have to bear your burden. So you cannot give your cross to other people, or you cannot take off your cross. If it is your cross, you have to bear it. So, yeah, okay.
How can they be forgiven if they don't accept?
So we don't know. I don't know. Maybe in future, if they do something repentance and they do good thing, maybe there can be, but we don't know yet. Yeah, sometimes they can be forgiven. Yeah. But for them to come back, it is very difficult. Once you leave and to come back again, it's very difficult. You have to fight. You have to fight and overcome all the difficulties. Otherwise, you cannot come back. Even we invite them to come back, but it's very difficult for them to come back. Unless they overcome all the difficulties, and they fight, in their heart many things, and if they win over it, then they can come back. But if not, they cannot come back. So all his father says that. Sometimes it's difficult to go on, but father says not to leave our church. Once you leave, then it's very difficult to come back again. Because we don't think too bad, but to them, they think everybody is talking about them, or they think this way, so they can't come back. It's very difficult once you leave. And if you did something bad against our church, then that you cannot get rid of that experience or that thought. So it's really difficult to come back. Anyway, this is our final course, final way, final. And even our ancestors, they will, if you cannot continue, if you just drop out, then your ancestors will attack you, accuse you. So you will be attacked from your ancestors and from descendants, both sides. Just like you are pressed in press, like you will be pressed for both sides. Then what will you will be like just a flat, you will become flat. Nothing will be left. So blessing is final one. This is final. Of course, we know there will be two more blessings. One is national blessing, and the other one is world blessing. But that is on the first blessing, not new one. On the first blessing, our blessing was church blessing, and on this blessing we can get a national blessing and the world blessing. And if we receive world blessing, that is the end. Now we have forgiveness ceremony for this time, but that is because we did not receive final blessing yet. We blessed just on first formation stage blessing. Because of this, it is possible. If we received final blessing, no more forgiveness, no more forgiveness. But still, we have two more blessings coming. Therefore, at this stage, we can get forgiveness. We can have forgiveness ceremony. But this will not come all the time, no. Maybe, I think this is maybe the first one and the final one, maybe.
Can you explain something about these two more blessings coming up?
Yeah, that is two blessings. That's after we restore one nation. Then, that case, with national ceremony, at the national ceremony, there will be another blessing. Yeah. So we could announce to the nation that these people are blessed. So, just we announced in our church, yeah, but national blessing is that. So nation must celebrate, whole nation. Then in spirit world the same. Spirit world, if once we restore one nation, then in spirit world already we have one nation there. Nation now spirit world divided, all divided. Spirit world not one. Many different groups. But when we have one nation restored, then in spirit world also there will be all the orders set up. So it will become much easier for spirit to cooperate with us. Now it's very difficult. Everyone is in different region, so they don't understand too much about divine principle. And it is very difficult to change your concept. If you had some concept when you lived on earth, it is very difficult to change it after you go to spirit world. Sometimes it is even when you live on earth, it is difficult to change your concept. If you thought this was right and if you believed it for many years and if you were to change it, it's not an easy thing. If you witness to the Christians, you can find out how difficult for them to accept new truth. It's very difficult. But it's much more difficult if you go to spirit world. So in spirit world also there is a witnessing. So therefore we say all spirit men must come and listen to divine principle lectures. So blessing is inheriting everything from our father and mother. What they accomplished through their life. We are inheriting them. This is, blessing is that their condition is given. The key is given to us. But whether we make what we received ours, depends on us. Or it is given, the door is open already. But whether we make it ours or not is depending on us. So Father says, when you go to spirit world, if blessed couple, before blessed couple, the door is open. But whether you can go in or not is up to you. If we did as we are told to do on this earth, then we can go on, go inside. But if we didn't do that, then we cannot go in. Our feet does not move, cannot move. We cannot move our legs, cannot go in, even if it's open. To other people who are not blessed, it's closed, the door is closed. So they can't go in. But before, the blessed couple is open, but how far we can go in is up to our accomplishments, what we did, how we did.
One nation, when Father said it is possible to have this country?
When is it possible?
When
Yeah, we hope very soon. But anyway, before 2,000 years, 2,000. Before 2,000, but we don't know exactly when. Before 2,000, we have to have.
We don't know. It's a challenge for us.
Yeah.
You said it would be a blessing to our nation. Would it be a blessing like what we had, or how would it be a blessing? The spiritual world is easier for them to work with people
Yeah, well, of course, spirit world can work very easily with us. Everything will be different, more open, and God's power can be exercised from that time. So everything goes very fast. Yeah. But until that time, it is difficult. Until that time. So, or do you have some questions about? Yeah. Yeah.
What happens if I accept the blessing without having 3 spiritual children, but then it will make...
No, anyway, we have to make them spiritual children. That is least condition. We have to have 3 spiritual children. That is least condition to make. Without 3 spiritual children, we don't have any foundation to stand on. That is least condition to have. Father actually said that Jesus had 12 disciples. We used to have 12. But 3 major disciples, same thing. We have to have at least 3 spiritual children.
What happens when one spiritual child leaves the family?
No, then you have to restore one more. Another one. So that is our responsibility, to raise them well and to let them get blessing, and we have to keep them inside our church. That is also the responsibilities of parents, spiritual parents. Just like killing your son is the same. If you lose that.
His father made a special condition before he made the matching.
Yeah, so he prays very hard, And of course that he wants to, so he says he is very alert, or is very open that time. Spiritually very open. So he said that time, he said he's not the man on earth. Yeah. Of course his physical body stays on earth, but he's not the man on earth, he says that. And, for God or for Father is giving this blessing, not because we are qualified to receive blessing. Because, of course, for us and for the providence of God, to expedite providence. Because if providence gets prolonged more, then the more people die, go to hell. Therefore, God wants to expedite as short as possible. God wants to progress His providence of salvation as quickly as possible. This is God's desire. And to do this, then God must have foundation. And this blessing is to enlarge our foundation for that. Therefore, He is not blessing only for us, but for the providence of God, He is doing this. But because of this, we are getting special privilege now. If only for this, if the blessing is only for us, then He would not give us blessing, because then He would consider whether we fully fulfill our responsibility or not. Our spiritual children or many other conditions must check everything very seriously, very strictly. But He is not doing this. This is because this is just the time of, just a free giving blessing, free blessing time. So He does not count too much what condition we made. But originally, the blessing is not to be given to anyone. No. Blessing is only for those who fulfill their responsibilities, not everyone. But to expedite God's providence, He is giving just now to anyone, almost anyone. Because of this, they think the value of blessing is decreased. No. Even He gives this blessing freely, but the value of the blessing remain the same. We have to know this. So many members, anyone can get blessing, therefore our blessing is nothing. Many members think like this, but this is wrong.
He knows of this.
Yeah, of course, she knows. No, yeah. Of course. Sometimes, to expedite God's providence, maybe God must kill many people. In spirit world, they want to do this. They want, even sacrificing many people, they want to quickly progress providence. This is the spirit world. They desire this way because they cannot wait too long. They are so impatient. But from physical world is different. They don't care who is sacrificed or not, because anyway they think anyway everybody will come to spirit world. So they don't care too much about physical life. But for Father is different. Father always think of things from physical world side. Spirit men, spirit world, they think everything from their side. So sometimes if you if you are open spiritually, they tell you everything to do. They don't care what difficulty you go through. Therefore, if you follow what they say, then you will get in trouble. Because they have waited for so long time. And they know Father is on earth. Why is not providence going so slow? They waiting. They think like this. So they always say that if I were living on earth with physical body, I wouldn't do this. They always say that. I would do this and this. But if they lived in the actually on earth, they would do the same thing as we do. But they say that. Of course, we have to do more. We have to put more energy. We have to make more efforts. That's true. So, but Father is doing. Father wants to progress God's providence with less sacrifice. With least sacrifice, He wants to make good results. Because of this, it's become more difficult. Sometimes Father says, for the providence of God, God can sacrifice 1/3 of total population of world. So many people think God is not doing anything, therefore they think God is not too powerful. But that's not true. God has power. If He wants to do, He can do anything. But because of the people on earth, He does not want to sacrifice too many people. So this is also, we have to think this is love of God. Because of love of God, He is now just waiting patiently. Not because He is incapable. No. And this time, Father said on Children's Day, He said to all members that all members must learn Korean by 1990. He said that. Did you hear that? By 1990. What is this? This is 1983. 83 is almost over. By 1990, everyone must be able to hear, able to speak Korean language. And He said that. Anyway, this is the language of parents, our parents. So without knowing parents, how can you learn parents' heart? And in ideal world, there was only one language, not 100 language like we have today. No. the confusion of language came because division of language came because of the fall of man. So in ideal world, original world, there will be only one language. Father always sometimes he says that the German dog and the Korean dog, they speak same thing, you know. They bark the same, not like foreign people. Both are the same. You know? Only people have different language. They have no difficulty in communication. Therefore, we have to restore this one language. Yeah, but still, yeah, still, but still, there is language. Yeah.
I had a dream that actually I had two dreams.
Mhm.
One dream I spoke in Korean with two farmers, but one dream he spoke in French with me.
So this is the time. This is that time now.
And more, a few days later, my wife dreamed that two fathers spoke in English with her.
Yeah, but the father is speaking English. Why don't you? Why? Therefore, you should speak Korean. You know? He's speaking French or English. Then you should speak Korean. That's it. So 1990, as he said that from 1990, those who cannot speak Korean language or cannot hear Korean language cannot attend any important meeting. So. And the father, of course, father will not speak, will not use the interpreter. So. And to have one language, then somebody should do this. Huh? And of course, for you, it's very difficult to learn Korean language, but once you learn, it's easy. Okay? And Korean language is very scientific, you know, alphabet is scientific. But there are many different expressions, very rich in expressions. So for foreigners, it's very difficult. You know, for English, we have only one expression, but in Korea, it's very many different expressions. So some foreigner came to Korea and they came to a railway station and came out, and they tried to learn Korean language. And several men they are speaking, and the one said this same thing, but the other one said different expressions, so they just gave up to learn Korean language. So many different nuances. So, but rich in expression is good. Anyway, you have to suffer, but your children should not suffer too much. So, and he said that blessed children, blessed couples, they must be able to speak mother language or father language. And we are blessed from father and mother, therefore we have to be able to speak father's tongue, mother's tongue. If without speaking Korean language, if we go to spiritual world, then your ancestors will accuse you. He said that. Accused. You'll be accused. So what did you do while you were living on earth with your parents without learning the basic language? So this is the reason why Father is bringing blessed children to Korea. Yeah. It's best place to learn Korean language is Korea. But you are not blessed children. So your children will go, but not you. Yeah, sure. Now in America, there are many Korean community, and you know Hugh Spurgeon. They have 3 children, and they go to Korean school every weekend. they have a school for Korean residents, the children, because if they don't learn, they will forget Korean language. Therefore, community open school, and there, blessed couple, they send their children. So with all other Korean children, they learn. That's very good. She said very good. Yeah, so that's great. And Father said it is must. It is must. No exception. So. And the Father said that now we have 800,000 people, Koreans living in America, but he said it is not many enough. When all Americans try to learn Korean language, then how many teachers are needed? Korean teachers are needed. Anyway, because of this language, all the troubles come. So we have to make one language. And he said it is no choice. Maybe you like to use English or German language, but because father and mother were born in Korea, so and Korean language is their mother tongue, so no other choice. Yeah.
Tell us some other important things that Father said to Children's Day.
Yeah, on Children's Day, he spoke many things, and one thing is this: love and life. Which is more basic? One, love or life? Yeah. So because of love, God created His creation. So from love, life comes. Therefore, love is base for life. So without love, there cannot be life. But now, fallen people living in fallen world, we have fallen life. We do not have true love. Therefore, for fallen people who have a fallen life, to receive true life, true love, must deny fallen life. And must come to true life, then true love. No? This is the order. Therefore, Bible says that if you want to preserve your life, you lose it. If you are determined to lose your life, you gain it. So by denying fallen life, we can come to true love. This is formula. So without trying to deny your life, fallen life, we can never have a true love of God. This is one thing he said. Of course, he's talked many things about this. And second thing is this. We want to receive God's love. So we are going through now growth stage, and also there is many. Now this fallen world have many different layers, like stages. Individual, multiply to family, and family to tribe, tribe to nation, nation to world, world to cosmos, like this. So this is the development stage of fallen world. And to restore this, we have to go through this stage. So we cannot just suddenly restore cosmos, no. To restore cosmos, then we have to restore from individual man. By restoring individual man, then we can come to family stage. Then we can restore family. After we restore family, we can restore tribe. And from tribe, we can go to national level. From national level to world level and to cosmic level. This is the order of restoration. So we have to go through this. But each stage, for individual stage, everyone must go through this. And family stage, everyone must go through this. And to go from individual level to family level, then without restoring Cain, we cannot go to family level. So without having Cain, because to go to family level means to have love of God, in family level love of God. And to receive love, principle is this. The firstborn is to receive God's love first. This is principle. You know? Firstborn. When you are born, then firstborn must receive God's love first. Secondborn will receive God's love second. This is law, principle. But we know the firstborn failed. So God is working through secondborn now. Therefore, fallen people are in the firstborn's position. Therefore, if we come to our church, then we have to go out and find firstborn. That is Cain. And we have to restore Cain. We have to bring back Cain with us, together with us. And from Cain, we have to inherit the birthright, as Jacob did. You know? Jacob won both birthright from Esau. So we have to have this one. We have to restore this birthright. By restoring birthright, we can come to God and can receive God's love first. Therefore, we go out to satanic world. There, we have to separate ourselves from Satan. Satan should not have any accusation against us. Then we have to love Cain, and by our love, we have to bring Cain with us to God's realm, this God's side. This is witnessing. So, but to bring Cain, we cannot bring Cain by force, no. By love. So we have to love Cain. By loving Cain, we can bring them together with us, and use this word, natural subjugation, natural surrender. So by love, we have to make Cain surrender before us. Cain must say that you are qualified to receive God's love before me. Cain must say this to us. This is natural surrender of Cain. So this can be done only by our love, by our serving. And they must recommend us for God to receive God's love. You are entitled, you are qualified to receive God's love first. Therefore, you go first. Cain must say this to us. This means we have to win Cain's heart. By making this condition, then we can come to God and can receive God's love. This is the order of restoration. You know? So first we have to go out satanic world, and we have to separate ourselves from Satan. This is first condition. Then we have to love Cain and bring Cain with us to God's side, and we have to have natural surrender from Cain. Then we can go to God and receive God's love. No? This is the order. This is formula. So individually, as individual person, we have to do this. Then next one is, as family, we have to do this. Family. This we can say home church. After that, father is going through. Father went through individual level, family level, tribal level, national level. Now he's fighting world level now. No? If he fights through this world level, this cosmic level already almost done this. And we don't have to go through this like father did. So but up to family level we have to go through this. But after that, if we follow father, we can go. No? So this is very simple one, but very difficult one. Very simple, but that is formula. That's the formula. Because of this, Abel should not just force Cain to do this or no. Must love. You know? So by love, we have to subjugate Cain, or it's not a good word anyway. We have to make Cain surrender before us, natural surrender, natural, not by force. Okay? But many cases now in Europe, especially in Europe, this is a little bit not understood to right well, understood well. So just Abel, they think Cain must obey Abel. You know, this is principle. But actually, Abel must do more for Cain. Of course, Cain must obey. Cain must try to obey Abel, because without going through Abel, they cannot go toward God. This is true, but Abel's side also must do. Abel's part, you know. That's to give love. So to give love and to obey, both sides, not one-sided. Or we know, give and take action always. So the object must give each other. Must give each other, must receive each other, you know. Not giving only one, not one-sided. Always both sides. And now up to this day, maybe especially in Europe, Cain's side responsibility was emphasized, but not Abel's side responsibility too much. So we have to emphasize both sides. So when they both sides fulfill responsibilities, then we can have harmony. We can have unity. One side alone, they cannot bring unity, harmony. And without bringing harmony, God cannot work. So God is God of love and harmony. Therefore, where people resemble Him, there God can come. If people do not resemble Him, God cannot come there. If people resemble Satan, how can God come there? No. So we have to make atmosphere. We always pray that, ask God to come, but we don't prepare the place for God to come. So prayer is of course important, but to prepare the place for God is more important. That is to make harmony among us, among our members. Harmonious atmosphere, loving atmosphere. Then God will come automatically. Even you say, oh, God don't come, but He will come. So, sometimes I think it's very difficult to change your concept or your attitude, because if you once you get used to it, it's very difficult to change it. Sometimes you do unconsciously. You don't know what you are doing. This is really a terrible thing. If you know what you are doing well, that's okay, then you can change your mistakes. But if you don't know what you are doing, no way to change it. You know? I speak many times, many things, but you know, when I say something, then I say something for specific people. You know, I know those people. Therefore, I speak for them, but just a generalized speak. But they don't understand it. Those who should understand. Very difficult. So repeat and repeat, but it's really difficult to change. So it's just the same thing. If you are just accustomed to smoke, then automatically, you know, your hand goes to cigarette package, and just you smoke. You know. Therefore, this beginning is really important. Beginning. So to set up right tradition, this is the most important thing. Once it is set up, it's very easy to follow. So if we have a wrong tradition, it is very difficult to change it to right one. So this year's motto is to establish true tradition of God. True tradition of God. So true tradition is that how God loved people to save them. So how God came to visit us? This is tradition. This is tradition. So we have to follow. We have to do the same thing to find other people. As God came to visit us, He suffered so much to come to us, to give us our words, His words, His love. So we have to follow the same thing as He did for us. So we have to do the same thing for other people. This is tradition of God. Therefore, if we follow the tradition of God, then God comes and work there. God comes and work there. Because we are going same course as He did, therefore He is willing to come and help us. Therefore, if God does not come and God does not help us, then that is not tradition of God. That's not the way of God's way. That is not way of God's tradition. So God's tradition, that is the place where we can invite God and we can get God's help. And it becomes much easier if we go this God tradition, go way of God tradition, work becomes much easier with less sacrifice, less efforts. We can get better results. But if we don't establish this, we work very hard, but we don't get good results. So sometimes Father said that if our family really love each other and really united, then the neighbors will be attracted to us, and they will come automatically, even we do not go out waiting to them, they will be attracted. Because, man is spiritual being. So man is attracted by love. So as, flies, they are attracted to light. Same thing. They are bound to come to us. So anyway, we have to learn. So the reason why we study divine principle is to learn God, how He worked. So we have to follow the same thing, to follow the same pattern. We are learning divine principle. Okay, so now it's 1 o'clock. Klaus, you know the time. Okay. Okay, what time is now? 1 o'clock? Okay. So now, I think it's better to have exercise. Okay? You forget exercise? Okay? Yeah. No, 40 is 40. 40. 40?
We must pressure here or not?
What? What?
we must do strong.
Yeah, strong. As far as you can. Okay, let's end.